Alright, so I'm returning to the repair. This is another day for the Pong repair, the space ball repair. I just turned on the machine for the first time today, and the scores are showing a U symbol, okay? I looked that up in the data sheet for this chip here, the 7448. That U shape happens when it's trying to display the value for 12, okay? So 12 would be this high and this high. But when I look at the counters, all right, when I look at the counters for the score, they are zeroed except for the most significant bit. So there should be 8s when I turn on the power for this, and it's not, it's U's. So the corresponding data for that coming off the counters would be these _4 guys. So the 1_4, so pin 8 over here, and it should be the same thing over here as well. Pin 8, score 2_4. That third significant bit, or the second significant bit, however you want to look at it, the one that correlates to the value of 4 when you add it to 8 is 12. So this guy is low being stored upon power up, but is thought to be high when being displayed. Well, if you look at this chip I think is working. I don't think the problem's there. I think the problem is with one of these two guys, or both of these guys, or something. Well, it could be this chip though, now that I think about it. Let me probe and see what the values coming in here are. Let me do that right now, actually. Alright, so that's C5. This guy is C5, that's 7448. That's what they're using to display the values of the score. C5 is here. And pin 1, let's see what pin 1 is. Pin 1 is bouncing. Pin 2 is high. It's always high. Pin 6 is always high. Pin 7 is bouncing around. Am I looking at the right chip? Yep, C5. Okay, so this guy's bouncing around and this guy's bouncing around. These two are both high. Now where is it getting that? It's coming off of these guys. All right. Interesting. So these are the, what is this? This is 8 and 4. This is 1 and 2. So these are the least significant bits of the score, and these are the most significant bits. It's this one right here, pin 7, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, pin 7, that's the one that might be being read as a high when it shouldn't be. So let me replace D6 now and see what we get. See if that fixes the score on power up at least. I'll be back. Okay. Oh, all right. So I just replaced the 153, and it's just coming up, and the score looks different, doesn't it? We've got 10s and 8s now. That might be correct. Let's see what happens when we coin it up. Ah, look at that. We've got 0s now. So the scores are being reset. Oh, but it jumped all the way to 15. Let's try that again. That was the ball going off to the left. So, or I'm sorry, off to the right. So when the ball exits to the right, it registers 15. Let's see if I can get it to bounce to the left and see if it's increments by 1 at least. Of course it hits them. Okay, so scoring, the ball going to the left is scoring 1, 2. I think the game is set for 11 points. So let's see if it terminates after 11 points. That's 3. It hit. Okay. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Now the next one should score double digits. Should be 10. Good. Next one either ends the game or it goes to 15. 11. Okay, I guess it's set for 15 then. 12. 13. 14. 14, uno más. Okay, excellent. And the game setting would normally be adjusted with a switch here, that someone hard-coded it to always be 15 points. So looking good for scoring to the left. Now scoring to the right, let's double check that. Scoring to the right. Let me switch controllers here. $15. Jumps all the way to 15. Now, if that's true, if that's actually what's going on here, then these counters here, let's see, one of these two counters should have a score of 15 on it, which basically means all of the output bits are high. So let me start with going to the right would be this one, I think, on top. That's the left player. So let's check C7. This guy here, we've already socketed. It's already been replaced, so it can't be that, I don't think. Pin 8. Pin 8 is high. Pin 9 is not high. It's low. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong score. It's the other chip I need to be looking at, isn't it? I need to be looking at D7. Let me try that again. So pin 8's low. Pin 9's low. 10, 11 is low. 12 is high. 12 is high. So that should be displaying 8. No, I'm sorry. It should be displaying 1. Oh, okay. So it is. It's displaying 1. All right. I was right the first time. So let's look at this. So that one's high. Let's see. That's pin 8. So that's the 4-digit. That's high. 9 is low. That's the 2-digit, or the 2 significance. 11 is low. 12 is high. So it should be displaying 12 points, and it's displaying 15. Why? Why is it displaying 15? Okay, that's pin 8. That's score underscore 4. That one's pin 9. That's score under 2. That's score underscore 2. That's hard to say. All right, so I'll just say, let's see. 4 is low, or I'm sorry, 4 is high. 2 is low. 8 is low. 8 is low, and 1 is high. So it's actually 1, and 4. So it should be displaying 5. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it is. It's displaying 5. That's correct. So something is actually incrementing the counter to 15. Now, the 10 digit is a flip-flop over here. This 10 digit's flip-flop. So if I look at that, it should be, this one should be high and that should be low. So 3 should be, or I'm sorry, 5 should be high and 6 should be low on C8. C8. All right, so pin 5 is low. Okay, and pin 6 is high. Or am I on the wrong one? 2 and 3, sorry. 2 is low. 2 is low, and 3 is high. 2 is low and 3. Yep. Wrong chip, sorry. What? C8. That's pin 3. That's pin 2. Pin 3 is high, so that should be showing the 1 digit of the 10. And that's what we've got. We got the 1 digit of the 10. All right. Shoot. So something is incrementing that counter to jump all the way to 15. All right, well, let me study that. Hey, but we're getting closer. The score's looking better anyway. All right. Just kind of daydreaming here. Since the ball scores correctly going that way, and there's no net or there's none of this garbage on that side of the screen and it works correctly, I'm going to assume for the moment that these lines over on this side of the screen is affecting the scoring somehow. So if the ball's coming this way and it gets to the end and it's telling it the score, maybe each one of these little marks is somehow triggering the counter to add to the counter. And once it gets to 15, well, that's the game and it stops. So, you know, there's more than 15 lines here. So I'm going to try to figure out why we have these lines over here. And if I can fix that, I'm going to probably see that the scoring is fixed as well. So the net, which is going to be just the little dashes on that line there, that interface, that edge, is generated from the net signal, which we've reviewed this previously. The net signal here is coming in. It's being mixed in with other things to get the video signal. I'm seeing this HVID here as well. Now that's important because the counters are using HVID in their circuit. So maybe it's something with HVID that's screwed up. Let's see, where's the counters? Okay, so here's the counters here. So we have the signal missed, all right, and it's derived down here, missed. It depends on the attract signal, which that seems to be correct. H blank, that seems to be correct, or we wouldn't have a good picture. And then HVID, see that bar H or slash HVID, that's the signal that may be triggering it multiple times when it shouldn't be. Maybe this should be low, maybe it should be high. Let me think about that for a second. So if it's low here, that's high, and so H blank would come through all the time. So maybe that needs to be low at the time, instead of bouncing. If that's bouncing and this H blank is high at the time, then that signal is going to be bouncing all the way through to missed. All right, you're not seeing that very well. All right, so yeah, so if that signal is bouncing when it shouldn't be, that's going to propagate all the way to missed, which will come here and be bouncing, and that could clock the counter more than once, multiple times, bunch of times, real quick. All right, so let me focus on slash HVID and see what's going on with that. Maybe I can find something obvious. All right, so I've got the net problem pretty much working. It's very faint. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's not wide enough or something, but it's working. And the problem was this 00 here. Even though the inputs and the outputs all toggled and it seemed to make sense with the scope, apparently there was a logic problem. Because when I replaced that chip, we got this, and that's probably correct. Maybe there's something else wrong. I haven't decided yet, but the line's there, so I guess I'm happy and moving on. So the only other thing left to do is to figure out why when the ball hits this, scores, when the left player scores against the right player, his score jumps up to 15, to the maximum. I need to figure out what that's about. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be focusing on next.